Sadie. Hello, Dinkerton. Gavi, Naughty, Electron, AVG, welcome, and Snowball. It's so nice to see you all here. How are you all doing? How are you all doing? I hope you're not too hot in this very warm season. It's like became so warm here again. Oh my! But I try my best, okay, to cool us all down with the spooky stories I'm gonna read today. Goeie avond. I'm sweating so much. Oh, it's super warm, right? Het is heel heet. Yeah, but it's okay, because you look into my eyes now, okay, and everything is going to be alright, right? You know that everything is going to be alright, even if it doesn't seem like it right now. Everything is going to be alright. You have everything in you. You have everything in you to overcome the dark times, okay? Everything is going to be alright. And if you need someone, I'm here for you, okay? Big Sister Lyquie is here for you. Everything is going to be alright. And welcome, GTS. Welcome. How are you doing, my dear? So nice to see you. How's everyone doing? Oh, Wookie, thank you. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. Thank you. 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 Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And welcome, Costard. Welcome. How are you doing, my dear? Yes, I'm very sure, ABG, that everything is going to be alright. Next week it's gonna be a bit colder again, right? So it should be fine. Maybe the no ear licking was the spookiest story of all along. Or do you want ear licking, Gav? Do you want the ear licking? Oh, that's sad, Gavi. Don't make me very sad, but I hope you're having a good day, okay? Thank you so much for saying hello. And yeah, I hope to see you soon again. I'm away for 3 weeks. Santa Claus, oh my gosh. That's so long, yes, I missed you. How have you been? How have you been, Santa Claus? Peter Famlin. Oh, that's awesome. Who did you marry in the end, GTS? That's the most important question. Who is your husband or waifu? I'm doing very good, thanks for asking. Just a little bit warm. I need a drink. Ear licking is a good trigger. AVG, you naughty one. You're so naughty. Yeah, here, now ear licking. There are many streamers that do that. Anna, that was the thief, right? Of course I stay hydrated. Yeah, also stay hydrated, okay? Oh wow, that's awesome. How was it? Santa Claus, how was your trip? Mima Apple, welcome. How are you doing, my dear? It's so nice to see you. Yeah, today we're in this little cottage or whatever it's called, near a nice little pond, and we're gonna read some spooky horror stories that apparently really happened. Yeah, I have a book here that is called Kovabana, and it's true Japanese scary stories from around the internet. It was an amazing trip to Japan. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you had a very good time. That's actually a very cool coincidence because, yeah, the stories I'm going to read tonight are also from Japan. And did you see any ghosts or something? Santa Claus? Anything like that? Like in my Fire Emblem walkthrough or playthrough, I married Henry, ABG. Yeah, Henry. He's a very good boy. A very naughty but good boy. Okay, that's good. That's good, Santa Claus, that you didn't see any ghosts. Oh my god, Uzim, what does that mean? Oh no. Oh no, what does that mean? And welcome, Hagi. Hello. Hello, how are you doing? My dear, it's so nice to see you. Oh no. What does that mean? I bet that's like some scam thing stuff. I don't speak moon language. What the fuck? What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. Mima. Very smiley boy, yes. How weird is it to not like carbonated water? I'm not sure actually, Snowball, you don't like it? I like it a lot actually, I like it more than normal water. I actually have some iced tea today. Well, I always drink iced tea for streams. But today I also put in some frozen fruits because I don't have ice cubes. And I wanted to make some nice triggers with the ice, I guess, but it doesn't really work. The Wolf was more just like this water. But the fuzz is so nice. That also adds to the taste in my opinion. But Mima, how are you doing? Hey, that's so strange. What is that moon language? What are you trying to say? What is your secret? That means nothing. Doing alright, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I hate sparkling water, oh gosh, oh boy. Oh, it tastes really good actually. Together with the fruits, with the frozen fruits, they add the fruity taste to it. It's actually quite nice. Japanese street foods map my tongue. What is your favorite, Santa Claus? I really like to watch Paolo from Japan or something. It's a channel on YouTube. And he does like these, a day of a Japanese rock or something. And it's not for you. Takoyaki. Ah, yeah, takoyaki must be really nice. And which one did you watch, Hag? We probably watched the same. Yeah, I watched two actually recently, so I'm not sure which one. But one was, I think, soba, right? It was like with. One was teppanyaki, a teppanyaki restaurant, and the other one was a soba noodle restaurant that I watched today or yesterday. And Squirty. Straight sparkling water. Oh, sparkling water is so nice. Sometimes it hurts a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. That just adds to it. I don't know. I just tried. Teppanyaki was, I think, the pancakes, right? The slaw pancakes. A friend of mine made those at one point, and he's a really good cook, but I didn't like it. It was kind of strange. But yeah, man, it's just so much fun to watch these videos from Paolo. They're just really good. I don't know, they're really fun to watch. How Japanese people live, I guess, it's so different. I want to go there again. Did you already get new tickets, Santa Claus? Did you actually do a round trip, or did you just visit Mount Fuji? Tempura is nice. Yeah, tempura is really nice. That's true. Also very unhealthy, sadly. I didn't try that many Japanese foods actually, but I really like to eat katsudon. Tori katsudon. That one is delicious. Was really good. I always went with a former friend of mine to a very good restaurant. But when it gained popularity, the quality kinda went down, felt like, which was a little bit sad, but it was really good. I would love to go to some more restaurants like that. So, yes, today's stories, a little reading stream today. Visit Tokyo. I mean that's already a lot, right? In my opinion, like my former friend that went to Japan as well. I think she went to different cities like every day, and that is so stressful. I can't imagine doing that myself. I just want to chill, and take my time. And did we go hiking or something, Santa Claus? Or just the ones and the change? I know, right? I also really like eel, but only in donburis and on sushi. I guess it's so delicious. It's so good with takoyaki sauce. Or is it takoyaki? No. Some brown sauce. Oh yeah. I mean, we can definitely go again. I'm not sure actually if I want to visit Japan anymore because of all the ghost stories I read. I already read the book a little bit. I couldn't read to the stream. And this book is a collection of real occurrences, real stories that happened to these people. So the writer of this book collected all these stories from Anons that wrote on 2chan, which is basically the Japanese 4chan. And they also have the paranormal board there, and there they probably wrote all these spooky stories, and the writer of the book translated those. So these all probably happened. Yeah. I mean, Mount Fuji is kinda infamous, right? A little bit. The forest around it. So, but maybe you're just lucky and you're not open for ghosts, etc. Which is good, honestly. Which is really good. When we're gonna read through this book today, I'm not gonna read everything, of course, it's a very, very big book, but some stories of it. Oh, thank you, Taki. Thank you. Welcome. How are you doing, my dear? Are you leaving already again? And yeah, the translated real stories. So the stories sometimes are not written in the best way, because yeah, they are written by different people, but I try to filter out the stories that are written in a good way, so it's not too complicated to read. Oh, okay, great. I miss you too, Daki. How have you been? I'm so glad you're here. Oh, me too, AVG. Like, oh my god, I read this book outside on the balcony of mine, and actually it was still bright outside, and I was reading some stories and I got so paranoid, and any noise I heard, I was like looking up, looking around me, like a chizo, okay? Like obviously nothing was there, or was just some birds, right? But I was so scared. I was so scared, and I also tried to read it at night, the book, and I couldn't. Like, I got so scared for some reason. Oh, human, no ear licking. Yes, welcome. And welcome, January. And welcome, Mudbud. How are you both doing? And Chinese also here. Welcome, welcome. How are you all doing? It's so nice to see you. Yeah, no ear licking in this stream. I'm doing very, very good. Thanks for asking. Trying to sleep my... I know, right? So, I don't like to sleep also with an open door. I like to close my doors. But, because it's so warm in the room otherwise, I have to sleep with an open door. And I swear I see like people in there sometimes. Or I try not to see them, but my brain just makes out figures, right? I'm so glad that I don't get sleep paralysis. Ah, this Ring 13, I heard about that movie, but I'm not sure what is it about, human. No, I don't see dead people. I don't see dead people. I'm very, very glad I don't. It's just my brain making out shadows, right? But it means nothing. It means nothing. But it's just like your brain just making up these things sometimes, right? Do you believe in ghosts yourself, or demons or something? Or humans to win? See, ah, yeah, really? Oh my god, yes, nice. I don't see ghosts, awesome. And the bros, even she tries to sleep. Much recommended if you don't want activity, some more interaction. Ah, okay, okay. What is the story about, human? Like, if it's not too long to write for you, of course, only. I mean, I would love to get hunted by you guys outside of streams as well. To be honest, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, apparently in Japan, it's very, very common to see ghosts or demons or something. Japan is very close to the spirit world realm, and like I said, it's very common for Japanese people to see them. I thank you. Oh, please don't try me. Travis, thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you for the 300 Brits. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Travis. How are you doing, my dear? So nice to see you. I even had a friend, or have a friend, that went to ghost hunting spots, and he said, okay, I'm not swearing right now, Hag, okay, I'm just paraphrasing. something like ghost, fuck off, you're not welcome here. You say this and the ghosts leave. Yeah, you just have to tell them to fuck off and then they leave. Maybe. And I do that sometimes actually if I'm feeling paranoid around me and no one is there and I'm alone, then I'm going to say that. Then I say that sometimes. And I'm the naughty one. Oh, you're naughty for liking ear licking, okay? ABG. Not because you're swearing, but because you're into lewd stuff. He just wanted a friend. Yeah, then he shouldn't be so spooky. Yeah, it's about the fiction city of Paris having a ghetto pros. Which is that some gang in the ghetto obtains a nuke once to shoot it. Oh wow, that sounds very interesting. That sounds actually really interesting. I should watch that one. Don't call me out. It's okay, ABG. As long as the ear licking comes from my stream, on my videos, it's fine. It's okay then, because that's not lewd then. So yeah. So, do you believe in ghosts or demons? My dad said that he could see relatives that actually died. Like he could see the ghosts of them and they said farewell to him. Yes, be honest, ABG. Very honest. You can say yes or no. Don't believe in it, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, that's good. Yeah, that's for the better, ABG, if you don't believe in it. I'm not do that. I don't, I'd be too scared to believe. At some point we watched some ghost videos on stream and I was so scared. These ghost videos. Talk to me even if they aren't real. I see. That's actually very interesting. Yeah, I'm still skeptical. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's kinda, I don't know. I'm so conflicted about it too. Like, I don't want to believe it, right? Because then the ghosts don't affect you, I think. But deep inside I do believe in it. But maybe that's like a woman thing, you know? Like astrology, horoscope, ghosts, magic stones, etc. Maybe that's just a woman thing, who knows? But yeah. Like I said, my dad saw like his sister that died, saying bye to him, and also his dad. My grandpa also said farewell to him. Just like very, very spooky. In the end, I'm not medicated. It's the time. I mean, that's good. That's good. It's okay. Don't worry. It's just I don't know. I'm kind of drawn to the supernatural as a magician. Makes sense, I guess, because I'm also supernatural, I guess. But yeah, ghosts and stuff, it's very spooky. It's very spooky. But I also believe in God, you know, or that gods also existed, like from different cultures. So ghosts and demons and angels and everything also exist, you know. At night, checking if I'm not too naughty. I just want you to go into heaven, okay, ABG? Lonely, welcome, 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 welcome. How are you doing, my dear? It's so nice to see you. Look, I just want you guys to not be naughty so we can all go to heaven together, okay? I mean, 85%, that's good. Honestly, that's already good. That makes me very proud. Did you actually did the rice purity test, AVG? Did you hear about that one? It was like a... No, Looney, please. We go to heaven together, but not at the same time, okay? Not at the same time. Please, please. Next week's streams won't be dying together, okay? That's not our next date stream. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I didn't do that yet. Just have my moments. I can't have excited when we go watching slowly. You can hold my hands, okay? And it's your time. Okay, but I won't be advocating for mass Sudoku. Okay? We're not a cult, we're just chilling. We're relaxing. Yes. Welcome, Cyanide. Welcome, 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 welcome. How are you doing, my dear? So nice to see you. Are you ready to be comfy with some spooky stories? But I'm legally not allowed to without consequences. Oh my! Tell me more about it, human. Why are you not allowed to go? No, we're not a cult. We're more like an orphanage. So talk is on a game, why not? Yeah, I guess so, but... Sorry for giving you a hard time, because no, you're not giving me a hard time. I'm having a lot of fun. Well, yeah, that's... I adopted you, right? Kinda. And I guess so kinda makes us an orphanage. But instead of a hard time, yes. Don't make my life hard. Make my head hard or something. No, I'm not gonna punish you, don't worry. So if I try again, then the rest of the family is judged by their choice. Oh wow. That Lyquie. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Anyways, everything is going to be alright. Okay, look into my eyes. Into my eyes. So, actually, like this, and then like this, and like this, and then like this. So, okay. Anyways, forget what I said, okay? Look into my eyes. Everything is going to be alright, okay? Everything is going to be alright. Even if it doesn't seem like it right now. Everything is going to be alright. Okay? Forget what lies in the past, especially what I just said. Everything is going to be alright. Focus on the future. Learn from the past and focus on the future. And need headbuds or a hug, then I'm here for you, okay? Everything is going to be alright. Olano! Oh my god, welcome! Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's so nice to have you here. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us. How are you doing, my dear? Joe? Wait, I actually have to get closer. Come here. Come here, my big boy. Here you go. Everything is going to be alright, okay? Come here. For a big, big group hug. The house too dark and heaven's too bright. I mean, Limbo might be not that bad actually. If you think about it, Limbo doesn't have to be bad. If you had the choice to be reborn, would you take it? Or would you say, nah fam, beam me up? Ratalon, oh no, Raton, laveur des vitres. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us. How are you doing, my dear? How are you doing, my dear Raton? But maybe we see each other again then. Imagine you're getting reborn, and then you can spend time with me again. Oh, that's okay, Raton. I'm doing very, very good. Thanks for asking. It's okay. What languages can you speak? But me too. I also would be very happy if I could see you in my next life. Oh, French. Je ne parle français. If I could raise, I would probably do it mostly for my health. I mean, that's valid. Yeah, Dutch. Fuzzy, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? It's so nice to see you. Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you. How are you doing, my dear? It's my summer outfit. Maybe I changed to it permanently. Just ate dinner. Oh, what did you have? I also just had dinner actually. I made some potato salad with sausages today because it's quite warm and it's a cooler dish, I guess. I'm getting quite embarrassed now. We need to stop this hug. I can't take it anymore. It's getting too embarrassing. Spinach tortellini with pesto rosso. Wow! So fancy, Fuzzy. King Frog Fresh, thank you. Oh, you learned to drive a kayak today. That's amazing. Do you have your own kayak, Siki? Or is it like a one that is borrowed? Just tiring. I think I also did that once, right? Like someone sits in the front and I was in the back, and I hated every second of it. I hated it so much. It was awful. Is it though? Because my instructor said that only the front one has to like pet, right? And the one in the back has to stir. Welcome, Arlie, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us. How are you doing, my dear Arolive? Yuki also, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? It's so nice to see you. Ah, that's cool. That's really, really cool. 3 lessons. Doing good, that's good to hear. That's very good to hear. So, for everyone that is new here today, or just arrived, I'm going to read some horror stories today that are true. Those really happened, okay? Those really happened to normal people like you and me. Aslepiti, welcome, welcome. How are you doing, my dear? It's nice to see you. How much they just gave me a kayak? No, way too bad. I mean, that's why they're free, I guess. Oh, this is a good story. Okay, this is a good one. So, the person constantly watching from the opposite window. Please listen to my story from when I was a university student. When I was in university, one of my female friends said she was having trouble with a peeping Tom. There was a guy constantly looking through her window from the apartment building opposite her. For the last 2 days, whenever she went to look out the window, the guy was there, looking at her. That's creepy. I'm gonna go and let him have it. I went into her place all puffed up and ready to protect her. A real white knight. Her bedroom was at the back of the apartment, and from the window you could see the apartment building behind hers. However, when I opened the window, the parking lot was spread out below and the other building was a little further away. Ah, he's looking over here again. Couldn't see very well, so I took a closer look, and indeed, there was a guy in the opposite building looking right this way. He appeared to be sitting. Wow, there really is But I mean, is he actually looking this way? He isn't, but he's been looking over here for the last 2 or 3 days, so it's creeping me out. I thought he'd be peeping on her from somewhere closer, so I could yell at him from the window, but it didn't seem like I'd be able to do that from here. I was a little far away. I turned to face the guy and shoot him away with my hands, but there was no reaction. What a strange guy. Do you want me to go over and tell him it's creeping you out, so stop looking this way? No, it's okay. I'm too scared, thanks. I just won't open the window for a while longer. That night, things ended up going pretty well, so I stayed over. After that, I came to visit her often, and the guy was always there watching. But what was strange was that even in the middle of the night, he was watching with the lights off, and in the morning when we opened the window, he was still sitting there looking at us. I'd had enough, so I was gonna go over and say something to him, but my lady friend was scared, so we called the police instead. The police listened to our story and said they'd go check it out. After that, the guy's curtain was closed, so I figured the police must have given him a warning. I should have called them sooner. I started dating that girl. And then about 2 or 3 months later, she got a visit from the police. Apparently, there was a suicide in the apartment building across from her, and it was that guy that was always looking at her room. She'd previously called the police about him, so they just wanted to ask a few questions. I was there when they questioned her, and apparently the guy had a rope. Tied around his neck, and then up over a pipe in his loft area. We thought he was constantly looking this way, but in reality, he was just hanging there, already dead. Instead of really dangling, he'd done it in such a manner that he just appeared to be sitting down from afar. I got shivers up my spine when I heard. My girlfriend was also scared, so that night we went to stay in a hotel. She was too scared to turn off the lights, but we tried not to think about it too much. The next day I told my friends about it at school. Blah 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 blah, the police came. Apparently it was suicide. No way, that's scary. Right? She couldn't be there anymore, so we spent the night in a hotel. But then, who closed the curtain? Another shiver ran down my spine as I heard that. That's right. After I called the police, the curtain was closed. I quickly called the police and told them the same thing. According to the officer I spoke to, they went to the room, but there was no response, that he just went back to the station. Was the curtain really open? I thought he was just looking over from a gap, the detective said. Did I get it wrong? I've thought about checking with my girlfriend, but then thought better of it. Oh my! Welcome, Hex. Welcome. Thank you so much for the compliment. It's my summer outfit. I can actually also take it off. How are you doing, my dear? And Siki, no, this is not our summer house. This is just a little cottage I found near a pond, and it looked cozy enough for us to have like a little reading session. I figured. Oh, welcome, Kina Nato. Welcome. How are you doing, my dear? So nice to see you. So, what do you think? Just a little spooky reading session, that's all we're doing. So when I read the story, it kinda felt like something I already knew. It's going to be fine. Don't worry. or it's actually going to be fine, don't worry, okay? You're going to protect me, right? If something happens. You will be protecting me, right? I really like the story. Actually like the little plot twist at the end. That the guy was actually dead and just looked like he was sitting and peeping. Oh my, I have to protect you. Yeah, I will actually. Don't worry about that. No, I was just joking. Of course I'm going to protect you. Of course I'm going to protect you. Don't worry about it. That's actually one of the apartments when I was younger I lived in. I lived in like a huge living area with like big houses, etc. And I could also look into the apartments of other people, kinda. And I don't know, it also looked like at one apartment like someone was hanging there, but it was probably just some clothing or whatever, but it actually did look like there was someone hanging. Yeah, they are definitely powerless against my magic. Let's just hope we don't see any ghosts, okay? I don't have my Bible close by, so I cannot even recite something. But yeah, maybe next week we're gonna do a Bible study, Bible stream, to get rid of all the bad ghosts that might cling to us now after this stream. Otherwise, welcome. How are you doing, my dear? Amen. Rid of the girls, I just say no, Miss Peacock. Very good cyanide, yes. Just tell them to go away and then they will leave. But you have to be more aggressive about that, okay? You have to use swear words for that. But I already swore today on stream, so I can't do that anymore now. Yeah. Oh, this one is also a good one, actually. It's a bit longer though, so I think I will finish the stories first, okay? And then I read your comments, so don't be surprised if I don't answer your messages right away, yeah? I will get to them after I finish the short stories, yeah, just so they're connected with each other and not like in the Sun Tzu Art of War readings where I took like 10-minute breaks in between. And so the stories are just connected, yeah? You can just relax and just listen or write me and then I answer. Okay. This one is also a good one. So, on a dark country road. This is a story my grandfather told me. I do my best to remember and write it down. His name was Shinji, so I call him Shinji. One day, Shinji told me a strange story. This was the only time he ever told me such a story before he died several years ago. When Shinji was around 6 or 7 years old, he had a brother who was 2 years older that died from sickness. His brother was terribly sick and didn't have much time left. So my great-grandfather, Shinji's father, said that he should spend his remaining time at home, and they cared for him there. Shinji played with his older brother in his room until he was unable to. Then, as his brother was getting close to passing, his father asked him to stop. Then one night, his brother died. It was summer, and of course, they had no air conditioning. Not wanting to damage the body, his father decided to take him to the nearest place to do the funeral rites. Shinji's house was way out in the countryside, a place where there weren't even any roads a car could pass through. So their father decided to piggyback him there, and because there was no light on the road, Shinji held a torch and they went together. By shining the torch in front of them, Shinji walked alongside his father, who was carrying his brother's dead body. It was a quiet country road during the middle of the night, so they didn't see any people. All they could hear were the sounds of bugs crying and their own feet on the gravel. The pair walked in silence. My grandfather said his father's face looked extremely tired. After they walked for a while, they saw the figure of a person in front of them. It seemed like the person was walking in the same direction as them, but was moving slowly. They didn't think too much about it and thought they would catch up to the figure in time. But as Shinji casually cast his torch over the person's back, his breath caught in his throat. He'd seen that outfit somewhere before. He quickly remembered where. It was the same outfit that his brother was wearing on their father's back right now. His father noticed at the same time and whispered to him sharply, "Shinji, don't shine that." He quickly lowered the torch and shone it on their own feet. Because the figure was walking slower than them, they slowly began to close the distance. Shinji started to get scared and wanted to stop walking, but he noticed that whenever he did, the figure in front of them stopped walking too. His father had probably realized the same thing. Slowly they got closer to the figure. The person was just as tall as his brother. Before long, he saw the figure's feet. He was barefoot. Even though the road wasn't paved, there were no marks or injuries on his feet. They got even closer. He could see shorts. He knew those pants. They were green and had cuffs. He also saw the shirt. It was a blue and white striped shirt. It was his brother's favorite. He saw the back of his head. At that moment his father grabbed his shoulder and said, "Don't look, Shinji, don't look." Shinji was slightly curious about it, but cast his eyes down. His father was muttering something. He couldn't hear very well, but it sounded like a prayer. They finally closed the distance, and Shinji and his father walked side by side with it. His father was praying next to him. Shinji kept repeating to himself not to look, but as soon as they stood side by side, he realized that it was looking at him. He said the power behind his gaze was amazingly strong. Finally, the two of them passed it, but Shinji said that was when it really got scary. When they passed it, that is to say, it was now behind them. That's when it happened. They couldn't hear footsteps, but it was definitely behind them. It was there, right behind them. He could feel it looking right at them. My great-grandfather said, "Don't look back, Shinji. Whatever you do, don't look back." Shinji couldn't even look at his father beside him, let alone look back. The reason for that was what his father was carrying on his back. The two of them kept on walking down the country road, with something following behind them. He just looked straight ahead and prayed they'd reach a place full of people soon. He didn't know when the figure behind them might call out his name or suddenly jump on him. So with his heart racing, he kept on walking. But in the end, the figure didn't call out his name or rush to attack him. The two of them arrived safely at their destination, delivered his brother's body to the morgue and returned home. Shinji said there was nothing on the road on their way home. When I asked if it was really his brother, He acted like he didn't know. He only said this. Ever since then, I can't get rid of the feeling that something's following me. Shinji said when that happens, he makes sure not to look back. Welcome into Kia Gaming. Welcome. How are you doing, my dear? Have a good stream. Thank you so much, otherwise. Thank you so much for being here and for the log. I hope you're going to enjoy the little spooky stories and going to have a good night's sleep and a good day tomorrow. We're reading spooky story Sigi from Japan that happened to people, basically. So these are not made up. Yeah, these stories really happened to actual people, and yeah, they're quite interesting. The writer, the author of this book, they collected them from 2chan, which is the Japanese equivalent for 4chan, and people wrote their normal stories on there, and the writer translated them and wrote them in this book. So yeah, that's something that happened. It's kind of spooky actually, but stories like this, they make me feel less spooked. It's like Paranormal Activity, if you saw the movie or the movies, right? It became like 4 movies or something. And hearing incoherence showing from here. Oh my god, human, that sounds bad. That sounds so spooky. Oh my god. No, the writer actually has also a podcast and the website, but they post these on for free, and I think there are 4 volumes out now of this book. So I think they're still pretty much alive. Plop plop. Stories like this make me scared less, because they happen to a certain family, you know. It's not happening to everyone, just to that one family or that group of people. Basically, these ghosts, they are bound to a place. So if I don't go near that place, then nothing will happen to me, if that makes sense. Paranormal Activity is the same. It was very spooky at the start. I'm gonna spoil the movie now though for you guys, okay? Or the 4 parts, whatever. So the family that got haunted was actually part of a witch cult or coven or whatever, and they made a pact with demons or with Satan or whatever, I think. And that demon wants the firstborn of every generation or whatever. I have no fucking idea anymore actually. But that's why it's not spooky anymore, right? Because it just happened to this family, because they made this pact with the demon. So all is Gucci. We are safe siblings, exactly. Stop trying to pick fights with the ghost. And that's also always something I say, that I actually say. Don't do stupid stuff like Luigi boards, okay? Don't do Luigi boards or something. That, not even for fun. Okay, not even for fun. Don't connect with the ghost world, even if you think it doesn't exist. Just be sure. Okay, just don't even try anything like this. Don't do any stupid rituals, no Luigi boards only praying to Jesus, okay? What Luigi ever do to you? No, it's not what Luigi did, what Luigi bots did to me. It's what Luigi bots do to others, okay? No, Cyanide, please don't do it, okay? Look, you don't need to ask the ancient ghosts, okay, around you if you find true love or anything, because you already found it, okay? Yeah, you don't need to ask questions like this. Please don't get haunted by some evil entity because you want to know who your wife is. I'm definitely Harry, I'm really scared of ghosts. The thing is, no, Cyanide, no, please don't. Are you someone that also is into Wendigos or something? Or succubi? Are you also an ex asking for succubi summons and rituals? Please don't be one of those people. Yeah, I'm really scared of ghosts. Because the thing is with them is you cannot punch them. Yeah. Like I'm a very weak woman. I'm like kinda a stick, okay? I'm weak, and if I'm out on the streets at night, right, it would be also dangerous for me if I go to certain areas, right? And I can be easily overwhelmed, but I can still fight for my life, right? I can still hurt the person. Even if I die or get hurt even more, I can still hurt the other person as well. But the ghost, I cannot fight. I cannot fight a ghost. So that's why I don't want to fight ghosts. Plays with demon ghosts. What's your first month's life? Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. And you also have that often in games, right? If you ever have these games like... I just wanted to say Paranormal Activity because I played that game on VR on stream. But yeah, that's the same thing like the movies. And from Vtuber emotional damage to the ghost, psychic damage. What could the ghost do to you though? Wow, the ghosts, they can hurt you and shit, right, Moi? Welcome, how are you doing, my dear? They can hurt you, they can terrorize you, and nothing really stops them. But ghosts, like, are also different, right? Did you play Phasmophobia? Very scary, right? They kill you. Yes, for example. I happen to take you home for any leaks, please. No, it's okay. It's all Gucci. There shouldn't be any CO2 leaks here. In this vacuum. But it's a special vacuum, right? From a scientist. He's like a Ghostbuster, basically. I kinda want to play that game now. Should I get it for the Switch? I really want to play it right now. Hug. No, okay. No. Parker, welcome. Welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us. How are you doing, my dear Parker? It's so nice to have you here. Ghost fetish. Look, guys, okay, you think it's cool if it's a girl, but please be more selective in your partner choice, okay? Please be more selective in your partner choice. I'm also doing very good. Thanks for asking, Parker. today is like a spooky, comfy stream where we cool down with scary stories from the internet, from Japan that really happened, to cool down from the heat. And we're just talking about ghosts in January. Do you believe in ghosts? No, please. Oh my god. God plus breathing. Oh my god, guys. Okay, there's actually a story of a cute ghost girl here, okay? Let me read it to you. Here we go. This story is about the time two of us went to a certain suspension bridge that was featured as a ghost spot in an occult magazine. We arrived at the suspension bridge late at night. It was the end of the rainy season, so the bridge was covered in a rather thick fog. We stopped the car in front of the bridge and planned to walk the rest of the way. I got out of the car. However, my friend, the driver, just kept looking at the bridge and refused to get out of the car. Friend, that's kinda creepy. No way, sorry, this time I'm just gonna stay here. We'd been to ghost spots together several times, but this was the first time I'd ever seen him so scared. Me? Huh? You're gonna wait here all alone? Stop thinking about just yourself, hey? Friend? Nah, I'm gonna stay here. Me? Okay, well, I'm gonna go then. I decided to leave him there and began walking towards the bridge. As I looked behind me, the car seemed to get swallowed up by the fog. It was like I was entering another world. The car felt so far away. I wondered if my friend was looking at me and thinking the same thing. By pondering this, I continued to walk forward, but then my friend suddenly sounded the car horn and started flashing the headlights. Huh? What's going on? Thinking something might have happened to him, I ran back. Friend, get in. I was confused. Friend, hurry up and get in. I got into the car without knowing what was going on. My friend quickly turned around and drove away from the bridge. Angrily, I asked, "Hey, what's going on? You scared me." Friend, just know there was a small girl standing between you and the bridge. Me? What? Friend, there's no way a small girl would be up in the mountains this late at night, you know? Me? Yeah, I guess. Thanks, you saved me. Friend, I mean, I felt something, you know? As soon as I saw the girl, it was like she was warning me not to go near the bridge. She's the one who saved you. You say it was a girl? How old was she? Friend, first or second grade of elementary school, I guess. You should be grateful to her. Me? I'm grateful, but I'm not into little girls. My friend just laughed. Me? I wonder what would have happened if I kept going. Friend, I don't know. My comment about not liking little girls should have changed the atmosphere in the car, but it didn't. We continued home in silence. I said goodbye to my friend, and when I got home, it was already after 6 a.m. The next day, I got a call from him. Friend, hello? Are you okay? Me? Yeah, I'm fine. Friend, okay, that's good. Me? Did something happen? Friend, no. As soon as I got home, I went to bed, but then I had a dream that was exactly the same as last night. Me? When you saw the little girl? Friend, yeah, the little girl was there, and I was honking the horn and flashing the lights, trying to get you to come back. Me? Okay. Friend, but unlike last night, you didn't notice and kept walking towards the bridge. Me? What happened to me? Friend, then I woke up. Me? What? Well, I guess it was a pretty big thing to happen right before bed. So it's not really that strange that you dream about it, friend. It would be nice if that was really all there was to it. I wonder if it's some kind of hint. Silence filled the air. It seemed to go on forever, but also last just an instant. However, what broke the silence wasn't the voice of my friend, or even my own. There was a faint voice, deep, in the phone, and yet despite that, we both heard it very clearly. It was a girl's voice. You should have crossed over. After that, my friend and I went to be purified, and he never dreamt about the little girl again. Of course, he never saw her again in reality either. It's very late, and thank you so much, Henry, for being here. Thank you. Have a good night's sleeps. Thank you so much for coming. Have a good day tomorrow, and I hope to see you soon again. Good night. You're hearing knocks on the walls? That's not good. I'm here though, okay? You don't have to worry. I'm here for you, okay? It's all good. It's all good, Ziggy. Come here, big boy. I'm gonna hold you, okay? I'm here for you. Here you go. Come here. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Everything is alright. Everything is alright. Everything is alright. You don't have to worry, okay? Your big sister's here. Don't worry. Okay? Everything alright again, yeah? Everything is good. Sure. I didn't play Medicine, Ziggy, but I started to watch a Let's Play of it. Actually, but it seemed very, very spooky. Did you play it? It was scary as fuck. I'm watching 8-Bit Ryan playing it a little bit. Yeah, it's really scary. Like, Ryan is really good in my opinion because he gets a little bit scared, but not too much. But I would be scared so much probably playing it, so I'm really glad I not play horror games anymore. It was really, really bad for my heart. Just reading horror stories is enough for me. But yeah, there you have it. A little cute ghost girl, I guess. Would you? Or would you not? I would faint, yes. Yes. I want someone else to play it for me. Actually, like a friend or someone. That would be cool. No, the girl actually wanted him to cross-hug. The girl wanted him to cross. Pat her head. Oh my gosh, Snowball. Look, the guy that went to the bridge. Yeah, he didn't saw her. And she literally said, you should have crossed the bridge. That dude would have died. Okay? And welcome, Kabuto. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us, Kabuto. How are you doing, my dear? I must admit that scared magicianly is super adorable. No, it's not. It's actually not. Don't believe Ducky. The paintings on the wall. On which wall? It's like Ryan is right now, or where I watched, was in the cathedral. But I also have to admit I'm doing something else on the side while you're just listening to the stream, or the video rather, or on like other words. Oh man, kinda makes me want to play it now on stream, but I know how it's going to end, so maybe not. Oh no, how's it going, Moi? Are you able to get forward with it? Kabuto, how are you doing, my dear? And please hug, okay? Please, 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 please. It doesn't matter how thirsty you are, okay? Or this goes to anyone in chat. I know you all are quite thirsty sometimes, which is okay. But please, 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 don't do it with ghosts or demons, okay? Doesn't matter how frustrated you are. Please, 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 please promise me now that you're not going to get involved with demons or ghosts, okay? Oh, welcome, Charlie. Charlie Robot, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us, Charlie Robot. How are you doing, my dear? No, some ghosts are evil, Hag. Ghosts may be demons disguised as people we know. Yes. I'm a good being. I actually believe that, Snowball. You seem very, very say-so, to be honest. Banzuli, welcome. How are you doing, my dear? Different method. Now I'd have to read to some of my models. But you're getting forward with it, Moi. And that's the most important, that you have progress. And I understand it sucks to redo things, definitely, but it's gonna be even better, and I'm sure you're gonna have a very good score or grade from your thesis. I believe in you. You can do it, okay? You're doing great. I'm very say-so. Yes, Snowball is definitely very say-so. Okay, what arts do we have? We have a lot of stories, actually. Another one I really liked was not all ghosts are bad though, right? Not all ghosts are bad, but they cannot give you the same pleasure, okay, and fulfillment as a real human can give you. Is that helping with my statistics? Okay, tell me more, how can I help you? Write me in DMs, okay, and I try to help you with it. You might have to teach me though how to do it, and then I can help you with it. I wouldn't mind. Okay, here we go. This one, okay? Listen to this one closely. I accidentally answered Aren't there times when you're alone where you feel like someone's calling your name? They say you're not supposed to answer, right? Well, I've accidentally answered before. When I did, it called my name again. Then it started getting closer and closer. When I realized that I was alone, I could already hear the voice in the next room. There was no way it was going to end well. It's calling me again. The moment I thought that my phone rang, and I nearly wet myself. But in the end, it seemed like the phone call saved me. It was like as soon as the phone rang, the presence ran off somewhere. By the way, that phone call was from my friend. I had a really bad premonition. Are you still alive? Ever since then, I pretend to not hear anything and make sure not to answer. I don't especially feel any mental burden or anything. I'm fine, but every now and then, I still hear my name being called out. If it turns out I'm ill without even realizing it, well, that's pretty scary in and of itself. And then I get scared for real, though I would play with something like that to you. I actually do get really scared, yeah. But if you do get in trouble, okay, if you do get trouble with demons or ghosts or whatever, with like evil entities, go to your local church or whatever, okay, depending on what you believe in. They can help you with these things, okay, they can do an exorcism and then you're going to be free, okay. Just do that. If you feel like you're possessed or something. I mean, if you feel like you're possessed or something. There's also another story in here actually, where someone couldn't move their hand anymore, and they were actually possessed by a kitsune spirit. Yeah. No, we're not gonna play medicine, Ziggy. We're not playing games on this channel anymore. Get scared in the dark, I think it's natural. Oh yeah, definitely. Because you cannot see, right? Like something that looks familiar doesn't all of a sudden. Even if I wanted to play medicine, CK, I don't have the game, sadly. So, sad life. We can't play the game if I don't have it, so... I'm not sure which one we should read next. Gonna read this one. Closet on the second floor. I think we didn't read that yet. Or did we? No. Okay. I don't believe in ghosts at all, but this story is about one such single experience I had. I think I was about 20 years old. My grandmother was starting to go senile. She started saying things like someone came to see her during the day, or strangers were calling her on the phone. When we took her to the hospital, it turned out to be complications from Alzheimer's. Gradually, things got worse, as did the things she said. In particular, she started to say things like, "There's someone upstairs," a lot more frequently. However, when we would go upstairs to investigate, there was, of course, no evidence anyone had been there. The family and I could do nothing but pretend not to hear it. Then my grandmother became bedridden One day she was taken to the hospital by an ambulance, and a week later she passed away. She was 84 years old. I never forget what happened the next year on August 15th. I was on holidays for Ubon, and for some reason was giving the house a big clean. At the time, only my mother and I were home. My mother was outside hanging out the washing. So while I was cleaning, I heard this gata gata sound coming from the room my mother and older sister sleep in. At first, I thought perhaps my mother was doing something upstairs, so I didn't think much of it. But gradually, the gata gata sound got louder and louder. Then I heard my mother laughing and chatting with someone from the neighborhood outside. I was covered in sweat from all the cleaning. Huh? Who's making that sound upstairs then? I thought. I went up to the second floor. I thought maybe my sister was back and also doing some cleaning. I made for the room the sound was coming from, even though I could hear the gata gata. As I reached the top of the stairs, as soon as I entered the room, it fell silent. Me? Sis? Are you doing some cleaning? As I said this, the small closet started to move. Gata gata. Thinking my sister was inside, I went to open it. Even now, I can't forget the shock that awaited me. When I opened the small closet at my feet, I heard the kya kya, laughing voices of small children. I was confused. I got down on my knees, and inside I saw 3 children around 4 or 5 years old, packed in there, eating something. One of them was a girl with a short bob cut. The other 2 were boys with shaved heads. The 3 of them were extremely dirty and smelly. What's more, the 3 of them were looking right at me with big smiles. When I realized, I took off running downstairs. I ran outside barefoot to find my mother. When I came running outside barefoot and pale-faced, my mother was surprised. When I explained everything to her, she just went, "Huh?" I went inside. For a while, I couldn't move. My heart was racing so furiously. I could hear it beating on and on and on. A little while later, my mother came back outside. Apparently there was nothing there. She just said that inside the closet was extremely smelly. That was the first and last time I saw the things that looked like the ghosts of children. But my dead grandmother often said, "There's something upstairs." So I'm not sure if that was somehow related. Did they appear because it was Ubon? That house was knocked down, so it's not around anymore. I still can't forget that smell. However, it was like the smell of someone who hadn't taken a bath for a month. I wonder if they were the spirits of children who died in the war. Even now, when I go to open a closet, I have to summon up all my courage. Okay, I have to say for this one, how can you be scared of children? Like come on, yeah, like little children, unless they looked very bad, but apparently they were just dirty and smelly, right? Why would you be so scared of them? I can't get scared with your relaxing voice when she reads spooky stories. Thank you. Thank you, you too. I mean, that's good, right? I don't want you to get nightmares. Little children are the most scary. Yeah, I guess so, but I know. No, I don't think children are the most scary. Imagine you could have seen like a tall woman in the closet, for example, yeah, you know, with a sword or a knife, and she's looking at him and her neck is like bent, right? And she's just looking at the guy. That would have been way more scarier than the little kids eating something. You never know what they can do. They just smiled it at the person, right? But maybe their smile was very demonic or something. Answered, welcome, 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 welcome. How are you doing, my dear? Mommy and Joya, also welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? You get scared now? You good? Asian mom stories and movies don't scare me anymore. Seeing my Asian mothers. Wow, this is scary as I know. I can imagine. Inanata, I can actually imagine. I mean, that's good. Okay, because you can actually do something against the wrath of your mom, right? But you cannot do anything against ghosts if you're scared of them, so yeah, we're reading some spooky stories today from Japan, Unzipped and Mumi and Joya. They're also real, they all happened. Scared of my mom than any black magic ghost demons. That's quite mean, actually. That's a little bit mean. Are your moms actually that scary, yeah? Maybe if you wouldn't be naughty boys, and you wouldn't have to be scary. Ever thought of that? Okay. Mom will always be the most scary. I don't know, my mom is not scary at all, actually. She's not very scary. The next story is working the convenience store night shift alone. Did you play the convenience store, the short horror game from a particular publisher or maker, I guess, developer, that does a lot of horror games or short horror games, short Japanese horror games, I guess, and a lot of streamers and YouTubers play those when a new one comes out. And the most recent one was the night shift, I think, night shift. Which also a lot of people played on stream and also on videos. It was about a stalker stalking you while you were doing the night shift, etc. Scare me the most is medicine. Paintings remind me of Pepper. Oh my. You said games. That's not true. That's not true. Okay, I don't know who told you that, Moi, but I'm a very chill person. Okay, not even games can make me angry. And even if I lose, it's because I want to lose, not because I'm bad at them. Yeah, so I'm a very, very good loser. It's all Gucci. I don't know so much about the game, actually, Siki. I think I didn't pay that much attention, but maybe I should rewatch the Let's Play from the start. Isn't Medicine the one that got killed in the tunnel or something? And then she tries to take over a body of the main protagonist or something? I'm not sure. So, let's see. Let's read. Oh wait, actually 1 second. I want to change my sitting position. you're getting a little bit more comfortable. Okay, let's have the next story, okay? Working the convenience store night shift alone. Oh, that depends, Ziggy. That honestly depends. Oh God, don't worry, Unzipped. I'm as scared as you are of these stories, okay? Don't worry. But reading them together is better than reading them alone, trust me. And Ziggy, I think it depends really what you like. But some VTubers do look very similar to their models. But I can yeah. There's one VTuber I know, one German VTuber girl, and she looks so similar to her model. It's like pets look similar to their owners, or the other way around. Oh yeah, in real life, yes, exactly. From my Flash avatar. Now I can assure you that my Flash avatar doesn't have rainbow eyes. That would be a bit freaky. Right, I have to blend in with the crowd, with the human crowd. But on the internet I can show my true self. But I did hear that my Flash avatar looks similar to my VTubing avatar. But I don't think so. I don't think so. So, this took place sometime after U-Bahn, I think. And U-Bahn is a festivity in summer, I think, that where Japanese people connect with their ancestors, right? Something, give them stuff or something. I'm not sure anymore actually what U-Bahn was. But it's like something with spirits and ghosts. I was responsible for the night shift, so I was always cleaning the fryers, putting out stock and other such things. Working the night shift at our convenience store is a one-man job, by the way. Then, when I was in the storage room ordering some things on the PC, a false alarm went off. That ping pong sound when a customer comes in. I went back to the storefront straight away. "Welcome," I said, but there was no one there. Well, we often have false alarms, so I didn't really worry about it. It especially happens a lot in summer when moths come in. When moths, yeah, the butterfly, the night butterflies come in. I thought perhaps I was just reacting to that. It's a mystery. Oh no. Oh. Xiao Meisha is so noisy. I thought perhaps it was just reacting to that. It's a mystery as to why it also happens in winter without any bugs though. I'd finished some work and it was 2 a.m. Our customers generally stopped coming into the store, so I went into the fridge, put out the juice and sake. You can't hear anything in there, so in order to hear if any customers entered the store, I kept the door open as I went about my work. But as we often have false alarms, so you can't really count on the doorbell. Even if a customer comes, sometimes it won't ring and they'll be left waiting at the front counter. Sounds like you're back. So every now and then, I look out from between the shelves and the fridge, see if there are any customers while I'm restocking. I was restocking the shelves for about 20 minutes perhaps. I was so involved I forgot to check if there were any customers. So I peeked out from behind one of the shelves and there was a customer right in front of me. He was staring at the Asahi Super Dry, vacant eyes. He then locked eyes with me. He looked like a tired, dispirited old guy. I was so scared for a moment, I thought my heart would stop. I was looking out from behind the sake shelves, so I couldn't see the entire store. but I hadn't even noticed there was a customer. Crap, I thought, and rushed out. I yelled out, "Welcome," even louder than usual in the hope that he wouldn't complain. But there was no one there. I thought perhaps he'd moved behind the shelves or somewhere. I couldn't see, so I took a look around the store, but there was no one there. I even checked the toilet, but again, there was no one there. Did I get it wrong? There was nothing else I could do, so I went back to work. My heart rate rose a little though. Perhaps it was a person who had returned here for Ubon and wanted to drink an acai super dry. By pondering that, I finished putting the stock out and exited the fridge when ping pong, the bell rang again. Was it the customer this time? I went back out into the shop, and again no one was there. Maybe the person I just saw gave up and went home because they couldn't buy anything. I don't know why I thought that, but I yelled out, "Thank you very much," as loudly as I could. I'm still working at that store this year. I haven't left yet. There's still an awful lot of false alarms. There are so many false alarms that I've taken to watching the surveillance camera to see if any customers are coming into the store. I can see them coming in, but when I go out, no one's there. Oh, night shifts are scary, man. Especially if you are alone. Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to work night shifts alone. Oh, luckily you're always here with me. Twilight's on. Yeah, it's very, very scary. Like these horror stories. But then again, like I said, it's not gonna happen to us because we're not working in the store, so it's fine, right? It just works. It's happening in that store. Protected. I protect you too, Snowball. We're gonna fight off the evil together. No, but it's the convenience store was also a game. Not in the store though. Yeah, that's good. As long as you're not alone. Even though going home sometimes can also be quite scary at night, right? Well, I never felt threatened. Actually, when I had to get home late at night, I never felt like I was going to die till someone saw something. Yeah, I sometimes got home at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or later. The only scary thing sometimes you saw was all the corpses that went to work in the morning while you got off from work. Welcome, Calamine, welcome. How are you doing, my dear? It's so nice to have you here. We are reading some spooky real-life stories from Japan right now that really happened to people. How are you doing, though? What else? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a little bit. Okay, this could actually happen to us though. Okay, if you live alone in an apartment. Oh, my nose is so itchy. Okay. When I left my apartment for a few days. This happened to me recently. It's not a joke. I like motorbikes, so during the open holidays, I took the opportunity to just wander around for a bit. On the evening of the last day, I returned to my one-room apartment. For an entire week, nobody was in the single man's room, that nobody other than himself enters. And it was extremely humid. I turned on the air conditioning, took a hot shower, cracked a cold beer, and sat on the sofa, just as I was settling in to rest. A strange sound rang out loudly throughout the room. I looked in the direction of the sound and froze. Eh? There were around 10 cicadas sitting on my right wards. I guess one of them realized the person was around and suddenly started chirping. Gross. But I'm a man. Like, I'm not scared of bugs or anything. Where did they come from? The vents? I got up and went towards them before suddenly my stomach dropped. Each and every one of the cicadas was fixed to the wall with a pin. Other than the one cicada that cried out, the rest were already dead. They were completely dried out. I immediately called the police, but seeing as nothing was stolen, they couldn't do anything. They concluded it was likely just the work of someone weird. It's possible, however, it was entered through a small unlocked window. But my room is on the 5th floor. The condition of each of the dried out cicadas was different, which meant it was possible that this person entered my apartment over several days. Perhaps they had also brought the dead cicadas, but there was still an alive cicada, so at worst, the intruder had possibly been in my apartment that very morning. I was creeped out, so I went to the fridge and threw out everything inside, including the half-drunk whiskey bottle. The police took the cicadas and pins as evidence. Oh boy, man, imagine that actually happens to you. You come back from a trip and you're having like just bugs on your walls, pinned, and you don't know who could have been, right? Why would the ghost even do that? Was it a ghost? Was it a stranger? Or who's doing that stuff? Who would do that? Yeah, I would also hate that, honestly. And cicadas are quite big now. And they're quite big bugs even. Like, so scary. It's so creepy. I would be so creeped out if that would happen to me. I don't know what to do actually then. What would be really bad? I would fast-mode that goes out of existence. Yes, definitely. Would you also do that if it's a cute ghost girl? Imagine it was a cute ghost girl. Would you still do it then, cyanide? Ooh, yeah, that's what I thought. Look, depends on her mood. Okay, guys, look. This is now an advice from your big sister, okay? Just because a girl is cute or beautiful or whatever, you shouldn't let them do whatever they want with you, okay? Just because they're pretty, just because they're cute, doesn't mean they can trample on you, okay? No, you're not going to say now that you like to be stepped on, okay? That's not something I want to read now in chat. Samaya, and I just found it. Oh my god, Bugs Boy, really? Really? Thank you. I'm so happy if that's true. Welcome, how are you doing, my dear? Goes. Exactly, GTS. That's the chat thing to do. Yeah, today reading those stories from Japan, Box Boy, which really happened to these people. But normally I'm also doing some triggers like water triggers and tapping sounds, everything. Yeah, so today is just a special stream that I do once a week, a special date stream basically. But yeah, I hope you're going to enjoy it here, and I'm very, very happy to have you here. Thank you so much for the compliment. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Thank you. I was Lyquie. The next story is actually a little bit funny because recently I saw this meme, of middle-aged women, what they like, and most of the time it's like astrology, magic stones, or like horoscope, right? Magic stones, Wicca, which is like witchcraft, and herbs or homeopathy, etc. And it's quite funny because I also like these things, but I'm not middle-aged yet. Okay, I'm not that old yet. And now the next story is about Feng Shui. Do you believe in Feng Shui? Welcome, Bumblebee Potato. How are you doing, my dear? It's so nice to see you. Feng Shui, right? Sleepy? Oh, then it's perfect, because I'm reading a lot today. Horror stories from Japan, from real people that happened to them. So just relax, lie down, close your eyes, and just listen to my reading. I hope you can relax a little bit. So I also want to get into tarot, right? Maybe you saw that or heard about it already. Tarot card reading. So yeah, and this is about Feng Shui. Feng Shui is basically, at least if it's true from Animal Crossing, right, that you put certain items with a specific color in special corners of your room. So red items, for example, are in the north part of your room to get more luck or something. I'm actually scared of that. Of what sign? Feng Shui or tarot card reading? Or middle-aged woman? I'm not the person. Oh, big hug. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you afterwards, okay, Noyuki? Still haunts me about the Feng Shui. Oh, really? Oh my god. Do you know how it was called, the movie? I'm not the person who can see ghosts, so I'm safe in that regard. But last U-Bahn I had a bit of a scary experience. I couldn't stop feeling something. Last March, both my younger sister and myself successfully got into university. So from April, our parents were living alone. Our father didn't want the house to become a sad place, so he went out and bought a dog. He built a dog house in the corner of the house, and they began raising it. Once the new school term started, my sister and I both moved to our respective new lodgings. Later, when we returned home for U-Bahn, our mother was wearing this huge cask. What did that? I asked. I broke my collarbone in a traffic accident. she answered. When she was crossing the road in her car, she was hit from the side, and apparently it would take 3 months to heal completely. If it were just that, it would be fine. The type of story you might hear anywhere, but in reality, that wasn't all. How silly of you. It happened because you were careless. At the time I was smiling, but little did I know that I had soon been wrapped up in a Jew. Our mother's accident happened in the middle of July, but both months before that, our father was also hit from behind. I heard he got whiplash from that particular accident. Then, when I asked my mother why she had the accident, she said, "Oh, my sister was trying to kill herself, so I was hit on my way to the park to stop her." For a long time, my sister had suffered from hysteria. This time around, her boyfriend broke up with her right after she returned home for U-Bahn, so in despair she ran away. Our mother got news of where she was, and on her way to the park was hit from the side. This is an unlucky year for our family. Hey, you should be careful too, son. As she said that to me, she left to start getting dinner ready. Then, 2 days later, on August 14th, in order to open a time capsule from our elementary school days, I was waiting for my friends. It happened on our way to the school. I pedaled my bike as fast as I could, and as I turned the corner, there was a red car right in front of me. My memory is a little vague after that, but according to what I heard, I was hit by the car. I was tossed about 7 meters and hit the asphalt. Blood poured out the back of my head, and I went into convulsions. What? What's that word? Into a coma. Some people living nearby came to help me. I told them where I lived, and I was taken to the hospital. In the end, I ended up with 8 stitches in my head. It was a serious injury. When I returned home from the hospital, my friends who opened the time capsule came around to deliver the letter I'd written to my future self. "You're probably already dead, huh? In an accident or something." I was a 2nd grader at the time. Was this really what I wrote? Our entire family had been involved in accidents or suicide attempts. My grandfather found it strange, so he came over to investigate and discovered the doghouse in the corner of the room with the household altar, and furthermore, it was facing southwest. According to a Feng Shui master, the doghouse was disrupting the unlucky quarter, the southwest, of the household altar, and so bad luck was trickling in. He quickly moved the doghouse and cleaned up the room. After that, there were no more accidents, but about a year after they got the dog, it suddenly died. Did he take all the bad luck with him? I feel like he did. Oh boy, what a story. I forgot about the movie, but now that I remember it, I'm scared. No, cyanide, oh no, come. Let me hug you, okay? Come here. Let me hug you and Noyuki. Oh yeah, my big boys, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. The thing with Feng Shui is that you can influence it, right? Cyanide. You can influence it. So you don't have to be scared. You can control it, like they did in the story. They just moved the doghouse to another place, and it was all good. Well, not all good, right? The dog died. Yeah. You don't have to be scared, okay? I'm here. It's all good. dear, no more scared. It's all okay. Okay? It's all okay. Everything is going to be alright. Everything is alright. Everything is okay. Supporty, my dear. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Are you ready to get comfy? You're right in time for a big hug. How are you doing, my dear? I'm glad you're here. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Oh, it's okay, Taki. Your feelings reach me. Some things you don't have to say. You just have to feel it. I'm getting warm now. It's getting very, very warm. Don't you think so? It's really, really warm. Trained you, supporting? What do you mean with trained you? Are you say so? Are you not the Kuma anymore? Where are you? You mean that one? No. I think... I'm not sure actually. Did I train you, supporting? Or maybe you just really like this. Maybe it became a ritual for you. I guess soon I have to stream every day, huh? So you guys can sleep properly. Yeah. And how are you doing? I mean, that's also something GTS, right? Just relaxing. But you, it's just relaxing, I guess. Me, I don't mind either way. So, you also don't mind not being able to sleep because I'm not streaming? It's also okay for you? So, going back to the Feng Shui story, I hope every hater in chat that things Feng Shui and astrology, etc. are fake. I hope you are convinced now that it's not fake and it's in fact very real and is very influential. Yes, I'm reading. Yes, I'm reading horror stories today, supporting. Everything was comfy and wonderful. Oh, I'm glad, no Yuki, that you enjoyed it. Very glad that you enjoyed it. Let's see. What arts can we read? So I'm reading. Oh no, sorry. I'm reading horror stories from Japan today, supporting. That's what I'm reading today. Very, very spooky. But don't worry. It's still comfy, it's just to cool us down because it's so hot right now. Yeah, let's go this one. It's about chicken nuggets. I can't go back. I was eating chicken nuggets at home, watching TV, and I heard a young female voice call out, "I'm home," from the front door. "Welcome back," I replied while watching the TV. I live alone. I don't have a girlfriend. I looked back, but no one was there. I was sure I heard something. What is this? Am I imagining things? I thought it was strange rather than scary. I cleaned up and went to bed. During the night, my eyes suddenly opened, and I tried to look over beside me. I couldn't move. For the first time ever, I was experiencing sleep paralysis. I could only move my eyes, so while searching the room, I felt like there was something in the corner. The door was slightly open. A round eye was watching me from the gap. Before I knew it, it was morning. That night I stayed in the nap room at work. It was only the 5th day since I'd moved into that apartment. But I can't go back. Protect you. Unless it's a ghost, then you're screwed. I try my best, okay? I try my best to protect you from ghosts, but no promises. No promises, okay? I get scared even playing Minecraft. Oh yeah, me too, support, hey. It's such a spooky game, right? It's so spooky. Sleep paralysis demon, yeah, that's what's happening, okay? See, it's not nice to be haunted by ghosts, okay? You should get a VTuber girlfriend instead, or big sister or something, okay? That takes care of you. Hint, hint. Instead of selling your soul to ghost or demon like this, okay? At least you know the VTuber is pretty. And then you can dream of her or him, depending. Those GTS can also be very scary. Like, and they're just standing there or come up behind you. Why do you want to be haunted, Mudbot? Why do you want to be haunted? Like, why? Alien waifus? I'm not sure, Taki. They're gonna probe your butthole or something, right? They're gonna lay alien eggs on you. I'm not sure if you want that. I'm really not sure if that's so great. You should. Okay. New advice from me, okay? From your big sister. You should get yourself a magician girlfriend, okay? A magician girlfriend that can conjure cool things for you, okay? Someone with like rainbow eyes, for example, yeah? And pointy ears. That likes candy apples a lot. Someone like that you should get as a girlfriend, okay? Like, no ghosts, no demons, no aliens. Someone that does magic, that has rainbow eyes, pointy ears, and takes care of you, okay? Where can I find a magician girlfriend? I'm actually not sure, human. I guess where you find normal girls as well. Maybe in the bar or in the gym or something. Yes, no, but she could have long blonde fluffy hair actually. Yeah, that's also a really good thing. You have pointy ears? Yeah, I might. I do have pointy ears actually, yeah. Cool, huh? But no worries, I'm human, I'm not anything else. I got sleep paralyzed. I was so terrified. I scared by force. My Wi-Fi could move. Really? Oh my god, like I read so much about sleep paralyzation. That sounds really scary actually. Like the demons you see that your brain makes up as a reason, right, why you can't move. I'm so glad I never experienced it. Minecraft Ultra Hacker, a live vegan with a friend and had some of the worst. Oh my god, boy. Oh my god, yeah, that sounds so bad. There's this one clip actually. In September, I have my streaming anniversary, and then we're gonna watch some clips, okay? I also have some really nice Minecraft jump scare clips. Unique name, I'm interested in her. What should I do? You're interested in her? Well, I mean, you can just ride with her, right? Become friends with her, hang out with her, and see if you have like the same interests, right? That's something you can do. But I think the best for the start is to just talk with her, you know? Get to know her, get to know each other, and then see if you're still interested in her or not. And maybe she's also interested in you, in the best case scenario, right? But don't rush anything, take your time, right? Don't spend $50,000 on that girl, okay? And then be sad because she doesn't acknowledge your name anymore. But yeah, this is I just saw like someone very unfortunate. Being sad about that, spending so much money and then like not getting a knowledge. So just hang out with her basically for now, and then you can spend the money. No, please don't. Okay, also don't spend money on. Oh, you're gonna buy a new keyboard? Oh, amazing. I'm proud of you that you don't spend money on Primo Gems. I'm very, very proud of you. Ducky, look into my eyes. Everything is going to be alright, okay? Everything is going to be alright. Even if it doesn't seem like it right now. Everything is going to be alright. Repeat after me. Everything is going to be alright. Okay? Even if it doesn't seem like it right now. Don't give up. Stay open for opportunity. Okay? Everything is going to be alright. And if you need someone, I'm here for you. Okay? Everything is going to be alright. Okay. Accepted your fate. I'm very proud of you, supporting. I'm very, very proud of you actually. That you accepted your fate. That's very mature of you. That you accepted that your account is bricked. Besides, let's be real. The in-game art is not that great, right? The in-game mod, it's fine, but it's not great. But where it is really good is the fan art. And fan art is free, right? Fan art you can just see on Twitter or Danburu or wherever you want to go. Big Thief. There you find lots of awesome fan art. Luffy, welcome. How are you doing, my dear? So nice to see you. Oh my. In Minecraft you mean, right, Supporty? You mean everything in Minecraft. Okay. So, let's see our next story. You don't even... Right. I don't know who to put on. Dane Slave, Snowball. And he comes out at some point. Or another person of the Harbingers when they come out. Or who else actually? I don't even know anymore who got announced, etc. I'm so out of the loop, to be honest. Or you just wait for Tartaglia rerun and then with him. Save accounts. Okay, next story. I saw someone looking in. This happened when I was still living at home. My parents' house is an apartment on the first floor. Both my parents worked, so usually when I got home, no one was there. On this particular night, I returned home from work and went to my room to get changed when I saw what looked like someone peeping through the curtain. Shocked, I ran to the living room, but then I realized that perhaps the window in my parents' room was open. 'cause it was summer. Nervously, I went to the room and there was someone outside staring right at me. It was dark, so I couldn't see his face clearly, but it was a man with glasses and a buzz cut. Gripped with fear, I yelled out, Who are you? Whoever, you ran away. Man, the first floor really is scary. Romeo, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us, Romeo. How are you doing, my dear? We're reading some spooky stories from Japan right now. That really happened. Man, the first floor really is scary. I'm glad nothing happened. I thought, and that was the end of that. Then one day, a few weeks later, I was out with my friends, and when I returned home around dawn, I noticed that I'd carelessly forgotten my house key. I didn't know what to do, but in the end, I decided to just wake up my sleeping parents and have them let me in. I quietly went around the back of the apartment and reached out my arm to tap on the window, and suddenly I remembered that day and got goosebumps. The guy I saw at that time, I clearly saw from the waist up, but even though our apartment is on the first floor, the inside is built a little higher. The windows reach your waists from inside the room, but when we're from the outside, I sit at about 1.5 meters high. I looked around, but I couldn't see anything that looked like you could climb up on. Plus, when he ran away, it didn't look like he dismounted from anything. So what exactly did I see? I'm also doing good. Thanks for asking, Romeo. I'm so glad you're doing great. How was your day? Did you have a good weekend? Wow, yeah, these stories, you hear them often, right? That people look into windows or whatever, and even though the windows are way too high up, that someone could look in, and that's very, very scary. Actually, that something like that happened to you? I hope not. Because yeah, it's really, really, really a really scary thought in my opinion. That you just see someone standing in front of your window even though it shouldn't be possible, right? So I hope that's not gonna happen to you. Oh, this one sounds good. That actually sounds good. The white-robed goddess of death. When I was in high school, I caught the flu and had a high fever. I was feeling faint, so an ambulance took me to the hospital. Turned out I had pneumonia, and I slept for the next 3 days straight, but I didn't get any better, so I ended up staying in the hospital for half a month. A nurse came in regularly to change my drip and clean things up, but sometimes a nurse who looked to be in her 30s would come in and, without doing anything in particular, would just hang around and look at my face. Finally, I was able to eat again and started to get better, and I was able to talk to the nurse. I asked her about the nurse in her 30s, who would sometimes come around. Who exactly was she? What did that person come to do? I asked, but the nurse replied, "There's no staff here with that much free time. Do you remember how many times she came? the nurse asked, so I replied 5 or 6 times. I wonder if she was a part-timer. The nurse gave a vague answer and then left the room. Then 1 year after I left the hospital, I broke a toe and was admitted again. And by chance I saw that nurse once more. She was in the emergency hallway, looking at an elderly patient being carried on a stretcher with an expressionless look on her face. Just as I was thinking it was a little strange, I got goosebumps all over my body. She looked over and noticed me, and then slowly approached me. "Can you see me?" she asked. Without thinking, I covered my face with my hands, and in my heart I screamed over and over, "Disappear, disappear." After about 5 minutes, I looked up and she was gone. I thought she was nothing more than a ghost, but perhaps she was really a goddess of death. Have you ever went out to the toilet, walked past the mirror, and felt like your shadow was vibrating and changing? At night? No, never. No. But I also always try to avoid looking into mirrors at night. And I always make sure that go to the toilet before going to sleep so I don't have to get up at night. But she didn't let me sleep that night. Oh really? My, you should. Sweet home. Let me write that down real quick. Okay. No. So, like this. Okay. I'm gonna check that out. Is it spooky, yeah? Sapati? Is that mama spooky? There are so many crazy stories actually about hospitals, because there's so much death around there, I guess. Oh my god, human. What? That sounds really bad. That actually sounds really, really scary, to be honest. Are you sure you don't want to get like medication for that or something? Or are you okay? Like, Baron Jam, welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us, Baron Jam. How are you doing, my dear? Oh my god, that sounds actually really good, Sapati. I should check that out. 1 second though, I just want to turn on my lights, okay? Just want to turn on my lights. That would be awesome, Support, if you could send me the link in DMs. No, that's expensive. I learned to cope with it. It just makes decisions. Oh, okay. Wow, that's so interesting, human. Are you just ignoring things like that, or are you also getting spooked by that or something? You can just write me. You can also just write me in on Discord if you want. That's also easier, I think. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, are you ready for some more hospital stories? Like I said, hospitals have so many spooky things going on. Because yeah, so many sick and dead people there, I guess. I'm not even sure. There was one story I heard about the black dog. Also very common, right? The black dog in the hospital ward. It comes there at night or something. But I'm not sure if that was from one of my relatives that worked in a hospital, or if it was from a show or something. Not sure anymore. For example, hearing a car when approaching road and then the car being there is annoying. Oh yeah, can imagine. Man, but it's amazing actually that you can like do this without meds, to be honest. To go through life with this. It's like a different kind of mental strength that is necessary for that. Oh man, that would be spooky actually. I would be so spooked if that happened. How long do you have that already, if you don't mind me asking questions? This is a story from when I used to work part-time as a nighttime hospital security guard. It was around 2 a.m. and I was taking my scheduled nap as my partner worked the floor. There was no nap room set up, so we were using a room in a separate building that wasn't occupied. The morgue was located in the basement of the building, so it was a little creepy. But just as I was getting used to it, all that thing happened. A nap is just a nap, so I never fell into that deep of a sleep. But I had that dream. That is, I was crawling up the stairs. I was struggling to wriggle up the stairs with all my might. In the dream, I was heading for a particular room, absent-mindedly thinking, yes, this is it. It was a room I'd seen before. It was the room I was sleeping in right now. At that moment, I opened my eyes. I was covered in sweat. I wiped my brow. It felt so real. What a creepy dream, I voiced to myself. I wanted to get back to the building full of people right away. But whether I was even more tired than usual that day, I fell asleep again without realizing it. Then, bang! The sound of a large metal door closing woke me up. For a moment, I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't lying down like I should have been. I felt like both my legs were being pulled down by gravity. Everything was dark. There were only 2 dim lights. I was in the morgue. The sound I'd heard earlier was myself closing the door. There was a dead body lying in the bed before me. It seemed like I'd been called here. Confused, I escaped back to the other building. When I asked about it later, a man who had lost both legs died there that night. That's probably why he crawled up to summon me. Oh, that's so spooky, man. Oh man, that's so scary. That's so scary. Oh no. I'm so glad I don't read these stories alone, to be honest, that you're with me together. This is so spooky. Oh, I hate these stories. But I also can't stop. The ringtone of our business phone, but I'm at home. Ah, okay. Yeah, I guess so. After dropping out and becoming a teen, I guess staying in the dark room all day, only leaving for shopping. Maybe. Not talking to people physically that much made me some changes. Oh man, I see. But then it should go away, right? If you talk to people again, human. No? If it came from that. And maybe if you do the reverse, it stops again. Okay, thank you very much, Supporty. I'm gonna check it out. Oh man, what a story. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I'm a magician and I don't have to work in the hospital. You need the judging chibi version of you will protect you. Yeah, maybe. Oh, but we're not done with hospital stories. I swear these hospital stories are the spookiest, I think. Okay. Okay. Do you actually know the show X Factor? Not the singing show, but it was like a show with Jonathan Franks, I think. And he had like also 5 stories, supernatural stories, and you then were asked if you think if the story was real or not, right? And at the end he made, he uncovered if the stories were real or not and if you were right. And I loved that show, but it was also so creepy. It's so creepy. Still a magnet for occasional jobs, still nothing. Oh man, I hope it's gonna get fixed. Fix is maybe the wrong word. But I hope that at some point those illusions go away again. I wish for that. Okay. Yeah, there are some stories that were so spooky. But some were really nice, but some were also really spooky. Some beans for dinner. Yes, do that, Supporty. Enjoy your dinner. Is there a story, Snowball, that you have like in your head, in your mind, that just stuck with you? There's one for me, actually 2 for me, that really stuck with me. One good one and like one nice, awesome story and one fucked up story. Because I don't see Cairo slow walking goes I'm fine. Who's that? Oh man. What's that? I don't really need the stories anymore. Okay, that's okay, Snowball. I'm gonna tell mine then. It's, understandable. In a certain hospital, there was a girl who had been diagnosed with only 3 months left to live. 2 of her friends came to visit, and while her mother was helping her to sit up in bed, they decided to take a photo together. The sick girl sat in the middle, and they took a photo. In the end, a week later, she took a turn for the worse, and without even reaching 3 months, she passed away. As things began to settle down for her mother after the funeral, she remembered the photos she'd taken at the hospital. She went to visit the photo developer to get it, but they couldn't find the photo. She asked the photo studio about it, but they said there was a problem developing it. The mother found it strange, and as it was the last photo taken of her daughter, she pressed the photo studio even harder about it. Shaking the staff member retrieved the photo for her and said, "I think it's better that you don't see it, but please don't be shocked," and showed her the photo. The 3 girls were pictured, but the girl in the middle, her daughter, looked just like a mummy. The mother was very shocked, but said she'd take it as a memory of her daughter and returned home. Even so, the photo was terrifying, so she took it to see a medium and asked her if this was hinting something about her daughter's death. The medium didn't want to answer her. Of course, the mother pushed her for an answer, and so the medium replied, "I'm terribly sorry, but your daughter is in hell. That's the end of the story. Oh man. Imagine. But what did the daughter do to get into hell, I wonder? She was a high school student, right? Did she kill cats or something? Why did she get to hell? That's very scary. And she didn't believe in our Lord Jesus Christ, who knows? Oh, Stretch, thank you, it's a party. Yeah. That was a good stretch, thank you. Yeah, I hope you liked the reading. I did wrong. It's okay. I understood what you meant. Cairo is a Japanese horror movie. Oh boy. Oh man. I hope you don't see that one. Human. Oh yeah, my X Factor stories. Okay, so the first one was a kind of wholesome story, more or less. Actually, no, it was a wholesome story. So it was a couple, okay, very normal, and they moved together into a shack, into a cottage, and the wife died, and they were very lovingly. They really loved each other. And the man, the husband, he was left alone, and at some point it rained or something, and a woman knocked on his house, and he let her in, let her stay over. No maiden, yeah, basically. But no, actually he had a lot of maidens. He let that woman stay over, and they felt a connection right away. And for him, it felt like she was his dead wife. Yeah, he felt the same connection to her. And she felt the same, like she knew each other for a very long time. So they married. Remarried. And for some reason, that second wife also died again. And then the man found another woman. That was again the reincarnation of his wife or something. So they married again, and they lived happily ever after, I guess. So a very wholesome story, but it's also kind of fucked up if I think about it now, to be honest. She's responding, yes. She was just respawning after a minute. No, but yeah. Very nice story. And the other one was kind of creepy. So it was about a very shallow woman, very narcissistic, very shallow woman that went to a makeup artist and wanted to get her makeup done, and for her wedding or whatever. And she hated the makeup. She hated it and started to insult the makeup artist, that she's worthless and that she can do it way better than her. And the makeup artist was really angry because of that, and she was like, okay, I'm going to curse you. I'm going to curse you, B. Whenever you look into a mirror, you will see how you look inside. And from that day on, the woman only saw herself as an ugly monster, abomination. Yeah. And she didn't know what to do because others didn't perceive her like that. Only herself saw. Only she saw herself like that. And that story actually was true. And I watched a video about that. Because X Factor only gave like vague information about where these things happened and when they happened, but not really why. So apparently it's like some kind of placebo effect that actually happened back then, or can still happen, where someone sees themselves in a different way than they actually are looking like, right? So like I guess some type of body dysmorphia maybe, or not even body dysmorphia, right? But just the perception is wrong, and it's actually a mental sickness. It's very interesting actually, but yeah, the story really spooked me. Like, it was so spooky. The face was just so disgusting looking. It's not that bad anymore. Now that I'm an adult, I can look at it, I can see it's just a mask, right? But when I was younger, oh, it was so bad. Oh, so spooky. And yes, drink water, everyone, okay? No energy drinks, only water, please. So, let's do one more story, okay? One more story, and then I think it's time to go to sleep. Garuken, oh my gosh, welcome. You're right in time for our last story for tonight. Our last spooky story. How are you doing, my dear? Once I can, I might just be like, oh, no support, eh? No, don't do it, okay? Don't do it. No, if it's your first monster in a week or something, then it's okay. I also had a Fanta yesterday without sugar. 5 a.m. Oh my, that's very late. Did you watch the Hulu Live debuts of the EN guys or what? Or why did you stay up so late? Strange happening at the abandoned hospital. I like abandoned buildings and often go looking for them in my free time. I had a few days off and thought I'd go stay overnight in one of these buildings. So I got my camping gear and sake and went to an abandoned hospital for the night. I arrived around 3 in the afternoon. The sun still high in the sky. After looking around inside for a bit, I heard the voices of some children, like they were breaking things. I figured some of the local brats thought this would be a good area to go crazy in. It isn't just the passing of time that breaks down old buildings. I wholeheartedly believe that kids and delinquents acting violently also contribute. I put some distance between myself and the voices, entering one of the hospital rooms and getting my sake out to start drinking. As the sun went down, it seemed like the kids went home, so I grabbed my lantern and went for a walk around the place. After walking for a few hours, I was hungry, so I went back to my room and got the rice ball I bought from the convenience store, drank some more shuchu, got in my sleeping bag and went to sleep. As the night went on, the cold woke me up. The sake had completely worn off, and I was freezing. I needed to pee, so I left the hospital to go do my business. On the way back, I heard loud laughter. It was a child's voice. At the same time, the sound of something breaking reverberated throughout the hospital. It was the same sound I heard in the afternoon. I started sweating, even though I was cold, and quickly returned to my room. The sound of laughter and things breaking continued incessantly, and it sounded like it was getting closer to my room. Wide awake, I gathered my things and held my breath while I listened. Before long, the sounds were coming from the next room. The crazed laugh of a child soon changed into screaming, but where a normal person the sound would have destroyed their throat. It was like someone being tortured. The scream shook me to my core. Each time something banged on the concrete walls, it reverberated within me. I had no more time to wait. With just a lantern in hand, I took off from the room, not bothering to check if the coast was clear or not. As I put some distance between myself and the hospital, I turned around. I saw what looked like my stuff being tossed out the window. Oh my god, this is so scary. Couldn't see anything in the darkness, but there was no doubt that something was in there. After that, I never went to abandoned buildings during the night again. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so scary, man. Oh. I wonder if the guy picked it up again. Ah, yes, on one you have an indie Vtuber here on Twitch. I see, that's cool. That's very cool. But yeah, understandable. Maybe take a nap. Or you go very early to bed, like at 8 or 9 if you can. Oh man, that was a very spooky story, to be honest. That was very, very spooky. I try not to be scared. But I also never go into abandoned buildings. Like, don't do that, okay? Please stay safe. Please, stay safe. Ducks and Wolf Fox, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. How are you doing, my dear? It's so nice to see you. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us. I had a nightmare where every carnivorous animal started to chase me. In the end, they were eating me. Oh my god, supporte. That sounds like something Diavolo would go through. Yeah, I have like ghost stories. Oh my god, tell me about the Garuken. Tell me about your ghost stories. I think I'm done for reading. With reading for now. I need a break from the 60s. Oh my. A sippy moment. I don't know, that sounds oddly like something Diavolo go through in his endless death streak. Moved out and I started to have trouble at night. Okay. Wake up in the middle of the night. Maybe, like as a departure, we're gonna hug a little bit, okay? It's like our last thing. So, because I'm very scared, actually. I'm very, very scared. It's being watched. I felt an oppressive presence. Gosh. On the head part? Okay. You're gonna get your bed part, Snowball. Gonna get your headbuds, come here. Got my cat and started to sleep with the door closed. Boy. Come here, Snowball. If you can't sleep, you can text me. Really support, eh? Can I text her, yeah? My cat slept with me. He stared to the door all night. Just there. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. chosen one. Oh, wait. Your name was Basil, right? I think. Yeah, your name. Hey, Basil, how are you doing? So nice to see you. I was behind the door pacing. Oh my god, Karuken, that's so scary, man. Oh my god. Moving out the apartment. Oh, that's good. Oh my god, luckily you had your cat with you. Good cat, honestly. How are you doing, Basil? Oh no. I wonder how. Are we checking if you stay alive to eat you? Oh my god. Oh, that's so spooky. Oh my god, that's so spooky. That's so scary. Oh, I can imagine. Oh my god. But why was that entity only there when your brother left? Basket training. Oh my. Welcome, Hates. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing, my dear? I'm giving headpats and hugs right now. That must have been exhausting, Parsley. Basil, Parsley. Basil. It must have been exhausting. But you did great, I bet. Man, that's so spooky. I always give her a feeling of... Ah, okay. Oh my god. It's so spooky. Did you also have contact with like a good entity or something, Karuken? Yeah, I can imagine. Like I'm so happy that I'm not open for these things. That I cannot sense them. Every dream a nightmare, but I don't know why. How are you doing, Hates? How are you doing, my dear? It's nice to have you here. Maybe you have a lot of trauma, Basil. That your subconscious is trying to work through in your dreams. But what you can do is like doing some training to lucid dream where you can control your dreams, for example. Welcome, Putang. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us. How are you doing, my dear? Yeah, that's really good support. Honestly, that's very good. Say from a fire by the early. Oh, really? Oh my god. That's so scary. Too much blood and flesh. Oh my god, Pace. I'm so sorry. Maybe there's something in your, like, Do you have some bad memories maybe? Basically, growing up I would see a pure white creature at night. In half an hour would lean to watch me sleep. This human shape with dark eyes and mouth. Don't talk much later that of the previous ones, the mother I committed suicide. I saw her drive to my mother. Oh my gosh, man, I start to cry. This is so spooky. Got bad. Oh my gosh. That's so scary. How are you doing now? Never felt scared, but always found by its presence. That's so strange, right? It can look really bad sometimes, but you don't feel scared for some reason. Oh man, I'm actually getting goosebumps right now. I'm actually getting goosebumps. This is so spooky. What did this fire start, Garuken? May I have trouble sleeping? It's okay. But at least it's trouble sleeping because of the concept, not bad. Please don't be scared. It's okay, don't worry, Snowball, it's okay. I asked for this. How are you doing, Beth, though? It's very nice to have you here. Oh man, and thank you for sharing your story with us. It's a bad put off cigarette. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Just wanted to share. I see. Thank you so much for the luck. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I don't know. My dad only, I already said that earlier, but for you guys here, my dad saw his deceased sister and grandpa the day they died. They were saying farewell to him, and it's also pretty spooky. But luckily me, I cannot see anything. Just what my mind makes up, I think. I hope at least. But sometimes I felt safer outside at night than I was feeling inside for some reason, but I'm not sure. Maybe that's just my brain being paranoid. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm very glad, Beth. Friend dropped her when they came. Ah. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's amazing, like amazing in some way. That you noticed the fire, that you got saved by that entity. Of course, no, Paul, of course. Thank you for letting me do it. Thank you for letting me give you new headbuds. Oh gosh. Took like to light the fire. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh man. I'm really spooked actually. I'm really spooked. Even though those were good things, but oh man. Oh man. Yeah. Wow. And are these white entities there around you, Garuken? Gas poisoning then, I guess. Wow. I don't know, we used to always, when we had like an ash tray, before we threw everything away, we always put in some water. So let me know that I have to be alert. Ah, it's just one. Oh my god, is it your guardian angel maybe? Maybe it's your guardian angel. I saw this video actually on YouTube of someone doing a ritual, or wanting or talking about a ritual to summon your guardian angel. Oh my god. I mean, if he's alerting you of danger, and I think might be a guardian angel actually, Garuka. Oh my gosh. Ready to run if needed. Oh man. A friend is a witness. That time I was half drunk and told him, "I have to stay awake." Left and then the fire happened. Ah, my. That what happens in my nightmares is that it's me who kills everyone. And all because people said that I don't deserve to live, they beat me up. Alive, but one day the sake. And off scare, I took a huge chainsaw, an axe, and he began to cut everyone himself. Except the opposite, but they were for the planet. Oh wow, Netherlands. Welcome there. Welcome, Masaman and Vidnix. Welcome. Welcome, Koharo also. Yes, Netherlands. Welcome, welcome. Hoe gaat het met jou? How are you doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us. How are you all doing? It's so nice to see you. And Vidnix, look into my eyes, okay? Look into my eyes. Everything is going to be alright, okay? Everything is going to be alright. Even if it doesn't seem like it right now, everything is going to be alright, okay? Have everything in you to overcome the dark times. Don't give up. And stay alert for your surroundings, okay? And if you need mental support, I'm here for you. Everything is going to be alright, okay? Everything is going to be alright. Oh, the details, if you want to share, do that, Garuken. If you want to share with us, sure. Feel like you're watching your eyes. Oh my gosh, so naughty. So charming. So charming. Thank you. that's a good thing. I'm hypnotizing you into thinking that everything is going to be alright. Basil, I don't know, that sounds like a very bad nightmare. Do you have like people that tell you these things in real life? Maybe. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you don't deserve to live? Alles kommt gut. Alles kommt gut. The good type of gaslight, exactly. This one is from when I was 4 to 5 years old. Oh hey, it's thank you. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome Oreo Milchuk. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay with us. How are you doing, my dears? How are you doing? Scary stuff in that place. We lived in a haunted house. Oh boy. An acre of yard. Okay. Let's have some water. ASMR, okay, to calm down a little from these spooky stories. And welcome, Dildo, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay here with us, Dildo. How are you doing, my dear? Does anyone else have like spooky stories to share with us? It's a stair to the entrance. There were windows in the low part of the house below the stairs. The house had a big basement. It's actually only 9 more followers for 3k support, yes. 3 more, 9 more. Small, okay. The accessible space was way smaller than the supposed space it should have. In that house we had parquet, the floor that is like, yeah. Creative Creeper, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing, my dear? Sound going on inside, oh my gosh. Oh my god. Are you the only one Garukin in your family that can see ghosts, etc.? I thought that we got up to the bottom. Out in the night. Oh gosh. He got tired and fixed the parts with cement that would come loose again on their own, and the steps would continue. Oh man. Beautiful creeper, how are you? How are you doing, my dear? Sometimes my mom would wake up to our dog licking her face. The dog lived outside the house. Something let it in. Oh my god. Come here, my big boy. Come here. I'm also gonna hug you. Come here. Come here. It's a bit too close, but like this. Come here. Big hug for you too. Big hug for you too. So. The front door would open by itself in the middle of the It changed the lock and added extra locks. Stay open, but the locks would be in lock position. My god. That's so spooky. Oh my god. The door was open. Why can ghosts or other entities interact with the real world, but we can't interact with ghosts? I think attacked. Oh no! Oh my god, really? Oh my god. That's awful. That's actually awful. She left the next day. You understandable. Why? Oh my god. Yeah, understandable. Understandable. I would, if I can avoid it, I will never ever live in a haunted house or apartment. If I can avoid it, never ever. once my older cousin came to babysit us, one of them went to the kitchen to get the potty for my baby, but changing his diapers. Okay. When he was going to the kitchen, he saw the painting of the kitchen moving back and forth. Oh my god. Oh my god. Gone to the bathroom before going to the kitchen. Get the butter and came back to the room. But he knows that my other cousin was still strong with the diaper. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. He got the room. Oh man. Oh man, yeah. Unity, welcome, 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 my dear. I'm doing good. How are you doing? It's nice to see you. Oh, I'm getting warm, actually. I think it's time slowly to say goodbye. We love Lyquie, and I love you. Yeah, understandable. Garuken. Oh my god. You're doing well, Lunatic. I'm glad to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah, that's very, very spooky actually. Which, Jesus, I'm so glad that I didn't go through that. To be honest, I'm very, very happy about that. Of course, like with the lights on, yeah, understandable. Very understandable. Well, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. And yeah, thank you for coming, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you for the relaxing stream. Yodomu, hello, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a good night. You're not too scared of all these stories. Oh, I missed you too, Yodomu. Tomorrow I stream again, okay? I'm still like thinking about the best times, to be honest. It's kinda hard to find out the best time, kinda, when to stream. Just you telling us scary sign just leaves us. No, I will be here, stay okay. Good night, I blame you if I can't sleep. No, it's okay, okay. Everything is going to be alright. And I'm still here for you, okay? I'm here for you. We can all go to sleep together, okay? Yes, please, Garuken. I want to hear more stories from viewers. So interesting. Sleep well, everyone. Thank you so much. So much for coming. I'm always having so much fun being able to talk with you and just hugging and headbutting everyone. It's so nice. So thank you a lot for that. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I see you, okay? I see you latest tomorrow,